Hi everybody, thank you for taking the time to watch my video. My name is Maria Brown. I am the CEO and the founder of Maria's House Inc. Maria's House Inc. is a nonprofit organization here in Nassau County, and my initial vision was to create a residential home for teenage mothers where they could come and acquire the resources and tools that they would need to be, great mothers to their kids. I feel like a young mother myself, having a baby at 16 years old, I always felt like everything was a challenge for me. Nothing really came so easy. So I created Maria's House with the thought process that, hey, I can show them that there's light at the end of the tunnel. But just like myself, I realized as I started engaging with some young mothers and dealing with them and what they felt like was their biggest challenges, that I had to approach these moms with a holistic perspective. So for me, as a mom being 16 years old, I thought I was doing things the right way. I got married at 16, had a baby at 16, and I was on my way to where? Nowhere, because I came from brokenness. I was born into brokenness. I was pregnant at 9. I had went through the foster care system. I had sold a little bit of drugs, and my mom was and currently is still addicted to crack cocaine. My father was my father was my father. My father was someone else's husband, and I was raised by my grandmother and my aunt. So that sounds confusing, and we're not even 2 minutes into the video, right? So as a mother at 16 and a wife at 16, what is it really that I was doing? Was I in these roles because it was something that I felt like I could live up to, or was I mentally programmed that this is what should happen? So once you get pregnant, you got to get married, right? So listening to everyone else tell me how I should live my life, other than listening to myself. But you can't listen to yourself if you don't know yourself, right? Because you don't know who you're talking to. So I now have decided in 2020 that I was going to take Maria's House back to the foundation and deal with Maria's House from a holistic perspective. Before I offer my services and my skills and resources to any mother, they have to know, the world needs to know what it is that I'm offering. And in order for them to know what it is that I'm offering, they're going to have to get to know me. This whole idea came about with me deciding to write a book, because I've been told on many occasions that I have a story to tell. Maria, you should really tell somebody your story. You should write a book. You should write a book. And I'm like, whatever. I got to make money and to, survive and provide for my family. I don't have time to be writing a book. I sit before you 39 years old, having been molested, having been pregnant at 9, being born into a family of complete brokenness. I sit before you going through the foster care system here in Nassau County, being married twice, being divorced twice, going to Job Corps twice, dropping out of high school, acquiring my GED, and then starting my journey on into becoming the woman that I am today. Realizing why it was important for me to go to college and get an education, and not educate myself so I can offer credentials on a piece of paper, a resume, to get a job, but acquiring the education so I can better me. I've been putting off writing a book for a very long time because I just felt like it wasn't important. But like I always say to my, my friends and the family that I created, God has a way of humbling you. God will always tell you when, what, how, why, and where you will do what needs to be done. We might have a plan, but it doesn't work. And I know some people say, oh, what is God, or who is God? God is in you, right? God is in you. But you cannot find God until you know who you are. That's my belief. We won't go into the religion part. That's a whole nother YouTube day. So today is January 2nd, November 9th. I have a 22-year-old daughter. Her name is Tanzania Zaire. That is her whole first name. She passed away here in this home. And there's something about losing a child that in all of my years of doing like some of the most absolute stupidest things that you could ever think about, I've never felt this feeling here. I've felt fear before. I've felt doubt. I've felt worthlessness. I've felt that before. I can't begin to make the world understand the feeling that you feel when you lose a child. Feeling lonely in a crowded room of people who love you. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, they love you, but you still feel lonely. Wanting to complete a complete sentence and communicate to somebody what you're feeling, but there are no words that could be put together to make you convey to somebody what you're feeling. This has been by far the hardest thing I've ever had to do. The hardest survival that I've ever had to go through everything that I've been through. So I invite you all to take this journey with me. And I promise that if you pay attention and you listen and walk through my life, through my perspective, my joy, my pain, my hurt, and my success, you'll learn something about yourself and me that you didn't know in the beginning. I plan to come on here on a weekly basis and give you the raw me. I'm not going to say every day I get on here and be smiling and, talking about things that, everybody's comfortable with talking about. I'm going to get down to the nitty-gritty of it. And the end goal is that by the end of 2020, by the time I publish my book, because that's the goal that I set for myself, when you pick up my book and you purchase my book and you read my book, you'll already feel a connection to me, because I would have given you a preliminary understanding of the worth. So if the book is $1, you're saying, you know what, I'm going to give this $1 for this book, and I'm going to want to get to know why Maria is the way that she is now and why she used to be the way that she used to be. So I invite you to take the journey with me. I'm not a book writer. I'm not a storyteller. I'm a survivor. So I invite you all to walk through my survival. And I promise you that you will have a better understanding of the word survival by the end of this journey.